Hi, boys and girls. So today, this video is introducing your writing lesson for lesson 5. So our primary focus is we're going to identify and paraphrase key information relevant to the selected cultural aspect that you chose for your Codex project. So first, we're going to jump off with some word work. So we're going to use in our vocabulary, our core vocabulary word vast. So vast, we learned earlier that it means a large or great in size, amount, or extent. So I want you boys and girls to answer the following questions. What are some examples of things that are vast? So if vast means great, large in size or amount or extent, start thinking about things around you, maybe in the world, that are vast. Also, what part of speech is the word vast? So is it a pronoun, adjective, a verb, a noun? What part of speech is the word vast? Also, what is a synonym of the word that shares its, which means it shares the same meaning to vast? So, what word shares the same meaning as vast? And then, boys and girls, what is an antonym of the meaning of vast? So, what word means the opposite of vast, which means like small or things like that? So, boys and girls, I want you to take your time and think about this and answer your questions here on this slide, within the slide. Now, boys and girls, we're going to talk about taking notes as we dive into our Codex project, boys and girls. So I want you to again to review over the writing process example diagram that we used earlier in the lesson. So writing. So when you're doing the writing process, you have 3 steps. You're going to share, evaluate, and revise. Also, you're going to make sure you plan, and within the planning, you're drafting, you're going to edit, and then the last step you're going to do is publish. Remember, we will practice, boys and girls, during this lesson. We're going to practice identifying key information and paraphrasing text related to the cultural aspect of the Maya civilization. Taking notes and paraphrasing, boys and girls, is key information and part of the planning process as is outlined in the graphic here. So make sure, boys and girls, that it is very important and very key to paraphrase and only highlight the important information, and that is key in your planning your process while you're doing take your writing for your project. Boys and girls, again, yesterday on Thursday, we you had an assignment, activity 4.5 is a discussion board, where I had you think of and choose at least one cultural aspect. So you were supposed to choose between agriculture, farming methods, or social class. And then I asked you to write about 2 to 3 sentences of why that topic was interested to you. Do you remember, boys and girls? I hope that you completed it, because you will need that completed, and that will help you complete the assignment that we're going to do today. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so for your activity, page 5.3, this is what you're going to do, boys and girls. So you're going to need your answer. So whatever aspect that you chose yesterday in your discussion board for activity 4.5, you're going to keep that and remember what it is. So how that relates to your activity 5.3 is you're building on that. So you're going to identify at least 4 to 6 supporting details to that aspect. And how you're going to identify that and where you're going to identify that is in your student reader. So right here, I attach a link to your student reader so that you can read chapter 2 and find your key 5 or 4 to 6 supporting details that support that aspect that you chose from 4.5. So 4.5, again, you had to choose between your cultural aspect, your culture aspect, or so it was either your agriculture, farming methods, or social class. Only one of the 3, not all 3. You chose one of the 3. So as you complete 5.3, you're thinking about that. So if I chose farming methods for 5.3, I'm only going to identify, as I read chapter 2, 4 to 6 supporting details of farming methods. If I chose agriculture, I would do the same thing, 4 to 6. And if I chose, boys and girls, a social class, that is what you're going to do there. Make sure that you also go back, boys and girls, and read that chapter, and make sure that you read the chapter and know what the story and what the chapter is about, because that is going to help you identify those supporting details. And the left side of the column is blank for right now. So boys and girls,